Hey guys, Wolvie here with a video for the City of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia Global for the 9th of October 2020. We're just jump straight into this. This is the Edward event info. A few things here and there that are going to be spoilers, first and foremost. Second, any opinion in this video is going to be my opinion only. Third, the panel rework analysis video is going to be its own video. I'm going to wait a few days to film that before anything else. Fourth, I already did some polls for the banner because Edward is a favorite of mine from Final Fantasy IV. So I'm not going to spoil the sense of how much it took for me to get his entire kit. That's the only spoiler your guys getting on that. I do have his entire kit, but I have the video regarding how long it took. So with that bit out of the way, we're going to get into a couple other things before we get into the Edward character event info. Finally, I will have the Dissidia database website link in the description below, so that's that on that. So we're going to get into a few other things before the meat of the video. First and foremost, it's going to be the preview for Dimensions and Entropy Tier 16. So according to this, you might as well not bring a tank into this one, because every enemy in the waves are all immune to the lock debuff. So you cannot bring Bosch into this one. However, for anyone who is planning on using Warrior Light, you are forewarned that you're going to be forced to be using Skill 1 and his EX ability practically all the time. And again, it's because you cannot lock the enemies to have them target him. However, a good unit I would probably recommend bringing in here would be Beatrix, because she has HP damage mitigation, 9 for Final Fantasy Type 0. He would be a good one to use because he has the same thing, HP damage mitigation. He can heal the party too, so that's that on that. So we're going to have here the Autumn Festival version of the 7-day gem sale. The reason why I word it like that is because unlike the usual gem sales, it's a little bit different, as you can see here. Now, excuse me. Now, for those of you who are pay to play, but not at the whale status, I would keep a tight tabs on the finances, in my personal opinion. Now, regarding the banner itself, like I said, I did the polls in a completely separate video. That will be the first one that would be the first video I'm going to be posting. So, we have here the 1535 EX weapons for Palom and Hope, alongside, let me pause here real quickly. Okay, so I had to take a pause there because something was coming up. I think something's going on, so, to reiterate, so you have the 1535 EX weapons for Palom and Hope. Now you're going to be seeing the debut of Edward's entire kit, 1535 EX and LD weapons. Now, with this in mind, Edward does have his Lost chapter coming out on JP later on this month, and this will have the return of his entire kit alongside the LD debut for Palom. Now, like I said, I did say there are going to be some spoilers, so there's spoiler number 1. So, Edward and Palom will both be getting their 8080 Awakening LD weapon wing of their character enhancement boards alongside the debut of Palom's LD weapon. The reason why it's not Hope is mainly because at this moment on JP, Hope already has his LD out on 2 separate banners. And with the more recent one for Hope, is that with him, is that, I believe that's when his, LD wing of the character enhancement boards is. I do need to double check that, so don't quote me. So, but we do know that Hope's LD weapon is on JP, so that's pretty obvious. And then this is going to be the final banner for Arden's burst weapon. Fortunately for me, I already have it. Now, I'm going to be returning to this a little bit later to go over Apollo's Harp, which is the LD ability Lullaby. And then you also have here the Requiem Harp, which is the EX ability Mystic Wall. So I'm going to be coming back to this a little bit later. Now we're going to go into the info on the event itself. So this is the global debut of Edward for Final Fantasy IV. He is better in default than he is in 4. Now for the character enhancement boards, you have Palom, Hope, and Edward. They're all available here and now, as well as their character lines. So the cutscene to make Edward your ally is going to be known as the Bard Edward on the global end. And for Edward, he is of the other weapon class. He is of the blue crystal ability. I cannot English to save my life today. So we're going to go over the base versions of his Skill 1, Skill 2, and additional ability. Skill 1 is called Bard Song. It's the information you see here. And this is 100% base 4. And this is the Crystal Strength Level 55 passive, which is 2 more uses. And the information you see here. Now you have here Hide and Return. It's in one of the same in the sense of like the same skill slot. Because you have one version being Hide, the other version being Return. Now the beautiful thing with Return is that the beautiful thing with Return is that yes, it's a single target. It does not consume it does not consume a use count. So longevity, you don't have to worry about Edward as much in this regard. Now this is the Crystal Strength Level 60 passive, the extension, so you have 3 more uses. And this is his additional ability here, Brave Heal, all buff longer. And we're going to get into the information pertaining the unique buffs that he gets. He has 3 unique buffs, although one of them will be switching out for the other. Meaning that Awakening Courage and Omen of Courage, these 2 will be canceling each other out. Meaning that Awakening Courage will cancel Omen of Courage and vice versa. So you have all this stuff here. Again, with Kimahri, he is Lost Chapter Synergy. Already, he's First Weapon Synergy. So you have a pretty good option here for the Chaos Challenge quest. My personal opinion would be, and it really depends on who you have better developed, Edward, Hope, and Arden. Now, if you don't have Hope developed, but you have Kimahri developed, I would go with Kimahri instead of Hope. So, this is the information you see here. This is Rock Raptor, and the information you see here. Now, we're going to go into the event, back to the banner, because we're going to go into the LD and EX ability. So you have here the LD ability for Edward, which is called Lullaby. It has stuff you see here. Mind you, this is the information in base form before you limit break it. Now you have the 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, and 3 out of 3. So you get the LD ability at 2 out of 3 at the bare minimum. The duration of the sleep debuff goes to 5 turns from 3. Now the unique thing with the sleep debuff is that whenever the target takes a brave or HP attack, the duration goes down by 1 turn. However, if you let it run out by itself, that's even better. So you have here 3 out of 3. You have 1 more use of Lullaby. Now you have here the Requiem Harp. This is the EX ability Mystic Waltz. You have here the information you see here. This is AoE total damage. Badass all around. So you have here the Debilitating Tones. It lowers initial bravery, max bravery, and attack. This is the order it comes in, so this is nuts. This is the pre-realization info. The duration of debilitating tones goes up to 6 turns from 3 at 2 out of 3 pre-realization. And now we're going to get into the post-realization info. So you have all this information here at 0 out of 3. Excuse me. Now you have here 1 out of 3. It's a moderate race who is max bravery and attack. 2 out of 3. This is what you get at the start of the quest. Now, when you see here, it says first turn does not use consume use counts. This excludes the LD ability. And this is 3 out of 3. 3 out of 3 post-realization. This is a D sphere. Buff success initial boost all shorter. I actually like this one. I believe it's the same type that Hope has. It raises party's initial bravery and next bravery by 5% for 3 turns. I like this one. Because if you're always granting a buff, you don't have to worry about the duration. Now, what do I think about Edward? Now, he is really good. And I will be honest here, though, that with Edward, he's a bit selfish in some areas, but in a way that's kind of who he is. So I'm looking forward to see what the Lost Chapter brings for him and Bellum on JP. So if I were to do, I really wouldn't say rework just yet. So I'm going to test him out a little bit here and there, and that will be a separate video for another day. But again, I'm going to wait a few days to do the Bellum rework analysis because I want to get a good read on him, that sort of thing. So with that, I'm done with Wolvie here signing off. I will catch you all on the flip side.